Hello all sentient beings and welcome to the Transmissions Podcast where we talk all Hasbro, Takara, and third-party Transformers! On this episode of Transmissions, we go over the Hasbro livestream. Dr. Wu is bringing us a G1 Beachcomber, and we talk about conventions announced for 2021. Today is Wednesday, November 18th, 2020, and this is episode 408 of Transmissions.
Welcome to Transmissions, the podcast that's always willing to concede that we've lost to another podcast, even when there wasn't a competition. I'm your host, Jeremy, aka Yakko, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Creator, producer, and star of Empire of Rust, editor Mike.
I'm going to claim that we won.
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
Stop counting the votes. Unless we're behind. Then count the votes. Let's talk Transformers.
And Daryl, this is your reminder that it's now time to start compiling everything for the end of the year.
I have actually started that. Yes, I have. I've started doing the mainline stuff. So I'd say 90% done the mainline stuff. A
lot of stuff came out this year.
The amount of stuff that's going to be in the exclusives category is ridiculous. So, yeah. I'm likely going to forget something, but the third-party category is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So that makes it easier.
Yeah. Well, you're getting an earlier start than normal, so that's going to be a better December for you.
Weren't you supposed to start that in January?
Yeah. COVID happened.
Every year he's like, I should start this just as we're going through the year. It never happens.
No.
COVID didn't get bad until mid-March, though.
Mike, this is a pandemic. We're all affected.
Not just us folks in the U.S., huh?
Yep. It's a global thing.
I can understand that.
Well, let's get on with the show. And as always, we start with our donations, our wonderful donatrons that support our show with their hard-earned money, and we appreciate them greatly. And we don't have any new donatrons to mention this week, but we just want to express our thanks again in this lead up to Thanksgiving.
Did I ever mention to anyone that I'm a Donatreon? And I'm the one editing the show most of the time.
Well, not right now, but yes. So you're doubly thanked, Mike.
See, if we can be Donatreons, you can too.
Yeah. And then also, if you would like to support us without being a regular contributor, you can always buy some merch on our TeePublic store. And they are having a site-wide sale. Every tees are $13 and everything else is 35% off November 17th through 20th. So hop on that. It's a great time to get early Christmas presents for yourself. Or if you want to use someone else's credit card to buy you a present from them, it's a good time to do that. So just go to transmissionspodcast.com/shop and it'll take you right over to our storefront. And while you're there, go to tpublic.com/user/superstark to go to K-Girl store. And she did a lot of the artwork for our show, and she has her own storefront with even more awesome stuff. So check all of that out. And then Donatrons can check out the uncut version of Empire of Rust, episode 36, and SOS to the World. This came out Monday, November 16th. And Mike, what kind of goodies is in this one?
Oh, arguments, yelling, recriminations, all the usual stuff.
Awesome. So if you want to kind of get the behind-the-scenes view on how that show comes together, go check it out. And that is it for the, all the business stuff. Let's get into our toy news.
All right, in toy news this week, there was another Fan First Friday event, and this one you could have slept through. It was not exciting at all, unless you were into the Movieverse toy Studio Series stuff. So they got some new Studio Series stuff coming out, and I mean, even if you are into the Studio Series stuff, is Bumblebee that exciting? I mean, really? So we've got Bumblebee movie Deluxe B-127. So this is Cybertronian Bumblebee, and it is going to be Studio Series number 70. And I mean, it looks good, but it's another Bumblebee. This has got to be like the 6th Bumblebee they've done in Studio Series. But it is from the Bumblebee movie, so it does have a place. It's the Cybertronian version. And it's deluxe size, so it's going to scale well with the rest of the Bumblebee movie stuff. They did 2 more reveals. One we'd already seen. The next one was Studio Series number 71. And this one here, this has been called for a while. This is Dino. And he's the alt mode they gave him. It's not the Ferrari that he was in the movie. I'm trying to remember. I think it was, man, that Ferrari model is really skipping my mind right now. But anyway, he was a really cool looking Ferrari, and this is not it. He does not transform into a Ferrari here. It's just some generic looking sports car. I think it was like the 4 something. I don't know. I'm going to bug me now that I can't remember what he transformed into. But anyway, it's a cool looking sports car. It's Dino. It is not Bumblebee. So, I mean, you had a Bumblebee kind of remake they said, okay, well, this is going to be Dino, back in, was it the movie line that they gave him that? Or was it one of the early Studio Series? I can't remember, but that was, he's getting his own toy now, which is kind of cool for Dino. But it is Studio Series number 71. And the last one is Studio Series number 72. And this one has been revealed already because we talked about it last week. And this one is from the Bumblebee movie. It is Cybertronian Starscream. This is the Tetrajet that we saw revealed by Ozformers. I mean, it looks cool. We talked about it quite a bit from last week. And it's not bad. Lastly, part of this entire live stream, before I kind of move it over to discussion, we're getting Ectotron again. This is an interesting little piece. They teased going into this Fan First Friday that they were going to be talking about Transformers and Ghostbusters, another crossover for 2021. And people started talking about, well, what the hell is this going to mean? Are we getting a different Transformer for Ghostbusters? Like, did it do that well that we're going to be getting something new? No, they're just going to be reissuing Ectotron, and he's going to be a Target exclusive, but he's got a little bit of changes going on with him. So first off, he's got a new head, and it's kind of up for, your own opinion on what you think of it. It's got new goggles. This is going to be more towards the Afterlife movie, Ghostbusters Afterlife, the Ecto one based in that movie. It still comes with Slimer, but he gets a new little partner figure, which he does have a name, but I don't have it on me here. Masher is the ghost's name. So Slimer and Masher, and then he's got like a wear effect, or like that. You know how we kind of all complained about how all these figures had like this weird, dirt. Well, this has got that on it, and some of it doesn't look half bad. We'll have to see it in hand to see really how it looks, because he really does look a little different. He's a little bit more of a, let's say an older looking, Ecto one. He's
an Ectotron that has seen some shit.
There you go. Yeah. He's been around the block for a while, right? So, yeah. So if you did not get an Ectotron the first time around, or you want, two, you want the new, and then you want the old grizzled Ectotron, this is going to be your old grizzled Ectotron. This one is based on the new Ghostbusters movie that has yet to come out because of COVID. And hopefully it comes out soon because I think it'd be fun. It is.
I think it was moved to next summer.
I think so, yeah. But it's going to be a Target exclusive. I'm sure that something like this will probably appear in Canada at either EB Games or likely Toys R Us, because that was where Target exclusives tend to appear here. This one also does come with an exclusive comic. This comic is a reprint of issue 1 of the Transformers Ghostbusters crossover. It is got an exclusive cover, and that's kind of neat. That in and of itself makes coming into Canada kind of difficult, but we'll see how that goes. Anyway, let's throw it over to Mike and see what you got to say. What are your opinions on the 3 new Studio Series stuff coming out and the re-release of Ectotron in exclusive Target wear?
Well, considering Target is the only mass market retailer I have near me, I'm actually glad that they're getting an exclusive, because maybe I'll be able to see this in stores. Probably not, but who knows? So I might pick up Ectotron. I know it's still available online, but I didn't get it on the first run, and I'm actually not. I have no problems with the kind of deco on this, and it's kind of neat. So I think this is more of an impulse buy, though. If I see it in stores and I get the money on me, then yeah, I think I might pick it up. But I don't think I'm going to make a concerted effort to actually pre-order it or to definitely get it online. Definitely an impulse buy.
Cool.
The Bumblebee, yeah, I kind of agree with you, Daryl. I mean, it's another Bumblebee. We've already had 4 or 5 of these guys in the line already, and it doesn't look bad. The vehicle mode reminds me an awful lot of the War for Cybertron stuff, like the old game War for Cybertron. It has a very aesthetic that looks very much like that. And I have no problem with that aesthetic. I actually think it looks kind of neat. When I saw the vehicle mode at first, I was like, hey, this is kind of cool looking. Because I love that design aesthetic. So, yeah, maybe I'll grab them. Dino, and I had to look up the car for you there. It is a Ferrari 458 Italia.
That's right. Yep.
No,
because he had an Italian accent in the movie. So they had to do the Italian version of the car.
Yeah, with this, I don't really have that much of a connection to the character or the aesthetic on it, so it's an easy pass for me. I mean, it looks decent and everything, but, it doesn't really speak to me or anything. Same thing with the Starscream. It looks neat and everything, just doesn't really speak to me. So I'm probably going to be passing on those 2. And the other 2 are probably impulse buys if I see them. If not, then probably end up passing on them. I'm just wondering that since we've just hit Studio Series 72 now, we're honestly getting pretty close to 100. And I want to know what they're going to be doing for 100 or what they're kind of thinking about. Anyone have any idea on that?
I mean, no idea really. If they're sitting at 72 currently, and we know where 86 is going, then we've got 14 in the middle that we're unknown, and then, I mean, from 86 to 100 is another 14, right? So we're looking at 28 different figures. That's still a ways. I mean, we're looking at a couple more years here. Hopefully, we get another live action movie in there somewhere, but they can always do at least 2 more Optimus Primes in there and another Bumblebee or 2. But I don't know. I don't know what they do for 100.
Another Starscream, certainly.
Oh, a couple. Yeah. I don't know. I assume they've got to run out of movie figures at some point. I know that the people that love the movies are probably screaming at me like, oh, what is his name? Junk Heap from that one. He needs a figure. And
yeah,
it was the one that was like a pile of like trash
Wasn't that Junk Wasn't that who I just said?
I thought Junk was the one that was like that showed up and had all the I don't know. I might be thinking of the same person. I was thinking of the one that the kids kind of hid under.
Oh, yeah, no.
In the stadium?
Yeah, no. Junk the one that was Steve Buscemi did the voice of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They called him Day Trader in there for some reason, like when they actually...
Day Trader, yes.
Yeah,
you're right.
that's
okay.
That guy.
So then there's also the... I know that there's a lot of people who would probably want like the Mountain Dew machine bot.
I'd buy that.
The Xbox.
Yeah.
You can do the classic Xbox.
I'd totally buy that.
So, I mean, there's a bunch of like weird random guys that could probably do it, but do you really want like a studio series? Like that's kind of premium quality, like for a Mountain Dew bot. I mean, it's a deep cut, man. So yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that you could probably do that just appeared like haphazardly in the movies that you could probably make a figure out of. But again, Studio Series is the premium line for figures, and then from there you go to Masterpiece, right? So you got to think like if the figure didn't get a regular mainline figure, does it get a does it deserve to jump all the way into Studio Series at that point?
Well, didn't they already do that with stuff like the Bumblebee Jeep mode or something?
Oh yeah, they did. But I mean, figures like Day Trader didn't get a figure, right?
True. That's true.
Well, the new Bumblebee Cybertronian mode never got the main line. I mean, I know he's based off of the Cliff Jumper.
That's also, it's Bumblebee.
Yeah. I'm wondering if by the time they get close to 100, they're going to have more movies announced.
That's my thought.
Yeah.
I think it'll end up being...
We have rumors.
I think it'll end up being a Prime. I mean, how can it not? Like
could also be the end of the line.
Maybe. Like a full-on premium Prime.
At least on pause.
I don't know. Like you, I'm not quite certain like where it goes for number 100, but I can certainly see like a full-on, giant Prime on there. I don't think they would do a reissue or something, but I can't imagine them not doing a Prime for that kind of anniversary.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, Jeremy, did you notice that that there was a new Ectotron that got dropped here?
I did notice, and I was able to get into the pre-order. I'm very excited.
Right on.
And it was a Target pre-order, and it wasn't deluged by bots, so they figured something out. Because it was like half an hour, 45 minutes after they went live, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I meant to do that," and I got in.
Cool.
So yeah, I'm excited. I don't really care that it's that much different from the original one. It's likely going to sit in vehicle mode anyway because it's Ecto 1. But I like it, and I like that you're getting a variant cover of the comic. That was kind of unexpected, and I guess it kind of says to how well that comic did.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, this thing looks great. I will see how the weathering actually looks in person. I know the Ghostbusters logo on the side. Just looking at it on the picture on the stream, it didn't really look that good, but maybe in person it looks better because it's supposed to look like the Ghostbuster logo is kind of cracked and aged. But I love having the classic box art on the back and everything. I think they did that with the original one too.
Right
on. Dino, really all the Studio Series I have like no interest in. We talked about the Starscream. They did mention that the Starscream, I think, face is going to be fixed. We mentioned last week how bad the face looked.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they heard the feedback and they're going to fix it.
Okay, cool.
but the others, I'm not really that interested.
Right on. All right. Well, that's pretty much all that they talked about. Like I said, it was not that of an exciting Fan First Friday, not like the previous one, but I mean, they can't be all amazing. So,
well, this was a triple threat. They had a Marvel and a Star Wars event,
right,
back to back to back.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens next, and yeah. If you're into the Studio Series, then hey, you're getting a Dino. That's probably pretty awesome for you. Anyway, that's what I had for to talk about this week. Jeremy, what do you got?
Well, I have something for you.
Oh.
If you have not gotten the Gigawatt and you're in Canada, or I think I decided I'm going to start calling him Gigawatt to be movie accurate, but he's now available in EB Games in Canada for $60 Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
So if you haven't gotten them, you should be able to find it at retail.
Awesome.
So
I think you bought mine though, didn't you?
Maybe. I haven't gotten mine yet. So if two come in the box, one of them's yours.
I had seen this, and I do recall somebody saying something about buying me one when they came out, because $59.99 Canadian is a little shy of $46 US, and that's a little bit more than what you are charged in the Americas. So I think we did the math, and it was cheaper for me to get it from you.
Yes, I do have 2 gigawatts on order, so one of them is yours. And yeah, I paid $29.99 a piece.
Yeah, that's what I recall.
Yeah, it worked out better.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm in no rush to get it because I am going to save money. So yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen people showing them off. Other Canadians been able to find them in store, and if you are a lucky one that has been able to find one at an EB Games, I'm very happy for you. They look amazing. I have been told if you did get one and you haven't opened it yet, that perhaps opening it from the end that is the back of the car showing in the box, open it from that end. Because there's some kind of little Easter egg in the package. So that's the only tip or only suggestion I've been given. I don't know what it is. I have not been kind of looking into it to see, but I've been told it's kind of, I mean, it's not like blow your mind amazing. It's just kind of a fun little surprise or Easter egg they put in the packaging.
Okay. I might know what it is because I watched a review the other day of a non-Transformers person that was more into it because it was Back to the Future.
Sure.
And like they showed the entire box and everything.
Yeah.
But so it does look good with the new windshield.
Yes. That's the other thing I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. Mike, did you pick up a Gigawatt?
Yeah, I got them on pre-order. So in January or February, whenever it comes out, I'll be getting. I think I did the same thing. I think I did too, because I have a friend who does want one. But yeah, so hopefully we'll see it soon. And for all you Canadian people and people who got through on the first round of pre-orders and people who spent way too much money on eBay to get it, then congrats, you have it now. Good job. The rest of us rubes have to wait.
Yep. And then the other thing I have this week is Dr. Wu is back again. They have another Legends class figure. This is DW E03 Big Surge, which is G1 Beachcomber. And it is 4.5 centimeters tall in robot mode. So much like I think the last one we talked about, the Emperor and the Monitor Officer, they are all smaller than regular Legends figures. But on the pictures here, they have them on, which is this Airwave, the Micromaster base?
Yeah, it's Airwave.
Yeah, and it is like in scale with that. And this is just a very rough, a rough version of it at this point. It's not even in actual plastic. But this thing looks really cool. Daryl, what do you think of this?
Well, I got my trusty tape measure out here, and 4.5 centimeters is 1 inch and 1 3/4 inch. So that is tiny, man. Like,
yeah, it's like maybe twice the world's smallest Transformer figure size.
Yeah,
because those were really small.
But I'm wondering if there's some kind of like conspiracy about these Legends class things, and that Legends class got to be really cool and whatnot, but now we're going for like even smaller Legends class. We're going for like a new micro class, and that's all just kind of happening underneath our noses here.
Maybe. I mean, you got to differentiate yourself.
Sure.
And, Dr. Wu has a recognized name, but they haven't put out much in the last few years.
No, and definitely not in the way of figures either.
Yeah, so if you want to come out and really make people pay attention, then this is the way to do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, we did see the couple other figures from that one other company doing really, really super small figures as well. And that is Dr. Wu. So sorry.
That was the Emperor and Monitor Officer.
That's right. So so they are really going hard at this small size. I like the fact that it does fit on these new bases. So they're trying to give you more accessories, more MicroMaster size figures. I think he looks great. This Beachcomber. I mean, the transformation is very basic, right? It's very similar to the G1 transformation. You're not getting a whole heck of a lot of, stuff. He's actually probably even got less transformation. I don't believe his head actually does any movement. I mean, it's cool. So I can't imagine this going to be costing an awful lot at all. So yeah, I like it. I like the fact that they're doing new little figures. More for it.
Yeah, and we have in the same story a tease for DW-E04 Prime Commander.
Oh.
Which is a G1 Prime with trailer.
Damn.
So if you look at the link in the article about that, they're going all in, and it looks really good. Mm-hmm. Although I'm not sure how they can get away with using Prime in the name.
It's a really interesting choice that he went with Beachcomber, because he went with Galvatron and then Soundwave, and Prime is going to be number 4, and Beachcomber's number 3. It's a weird choice.
Yeah, no, that's strange. I'm wondering if it's just what was ready to show. I would imagine they're planning to do a number of the G1 figures. But Mike, what do you think of this?
I'm digging it for just the cost alone. I mean, the other two, the Soundwave and Galvatron, I think together was what, $25, $30 or something?
Yeah, that's pretty cheap.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and it was, yeah. I mean, that alone has me at least paying attention to it. I do like the scale, although I think I would probably need a few more Titan figures to really kind of scale these well against each other. And I'm kind of thinking, like, if I pick these up, could I actually do some like decent photography with these? And that'd be kind of neat. But I definitely would need some more like kind of set pieces for them. Things like, Ironworks and Airwave and something to kind of play off of.
Mm. You could probably be creative with like Lego figures and stuff too.
Yeah, sure. So I'm tempted. I'm really tempted. If this is like $10, then I have no reason not to buy it. If it's 15 or 20, that's a little more iffy. So I think I'm going to wait and see what the final price is, and also just how this figure kind of looks in actual plastic rather than the 3D sculpt version that they're showing here. but I'm optimistic about it, and I'm sorely tempted.
All right. Well, that is all I got. We have some breaking news, as typically happens the day after we record. But thankfully, this was in time to make it into our show, and we're going to release this as a special bonus for our Donatreons. Hasbro released a single image asking, look what's next, with the X capitalized. And the image is their collaborative logo, with the collaboration being the Uncanny X-Men, and has a picture of the Blackbird jet that the X-Men fly. So Daryl, you are, between the two of us, you are the Marvel expert.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This to me makes me think the X-Men animated series on Fox. Is that kind of right, or is this more just generic X-Men?
Well, I do have a considerable amount of X-Men comics. I am working on a full run of them as well. But this image does say Uncanny X-Men on it, which is not the same as the animated series, but I mean they're all in the kind of based on the same thing, right? So the Blackbird is what's featured. The Blackbird would be, you would think that that's the image that they're going to kind of turn into what they're going to make. But there's a few things in this line that could be chosen for, a crossover. What comes to mind immediately to my head, other than the Blackbird, because that's what's pictured, is the Sentinel. It's a giant robot already. So, not much of a crossover would have to happen there.
But you can have a familiar Transformer vehicle turn into a Sentinel.
That's true. That is true. There's a lot of different like weaponry and stuff like that. There's a couple characters in the X-Men that are robots or, cybernetic beings. So, you could have them featured, but they're not main cast members. So that would be a deep pull. So something that you really wouldn't, do. I am kind of leaning towards it being the Blackbird. Cause it's fairly recognizable. So, that's pretty neat. In keeping with the crossover, kind of, history that they've got going in the last couple of years. I expect this to be a new character, something that's not in Transformers or in X-Men. So I'm hoping for a crossover comic, to be perfectly honest. That would be fun. There is a need for a palette cleanser after Transformers and Avengers, or New Avengers from a number of years ago.
Yeah. That was a very low mark.
Yeah. But
you think Marvel and IDW can work something out? I mean, they have those all age books that IDW is putting out.
They
right
do.
now.
Yeah, there is already a pre-existing relationship. So X-Men debuted. I'm trying to think, because when I asked John Warden about existing properties and what they would do, and
nice little name drop there.
Yeah, we're buds. So X-Men number 1, I just want to make sure I get my number right, my year. I believe it was 1963. Just want to make sure here. Yeah, so it's 1963 is when it came out. So the anniversary for 2021, it doesn't really work.
Yeah, that's 58 years.
So that's a weird one to pull out of the hat there.
When did the Blackbird first appear?
Oh, that's a good one. I don't know. early. It's early. Let me see here.
That's what I'm looking up.
In Uncanny X-Men number 97 from February of 76.
That would be divisible by 5.
Okay. I have that issue.
That would be 45 years.
Okay. All right. That'll work. That could work.
And they released in the recent past Studio Series 35, which was an SR-71 Blackbird.
Yes, they did.
That might be the base of this figure.
Well, that is some of the rumors that seem to be going on through like the social medias and stuff now that this announcement's been made, that they're hoping that Studio Series Jetfire will, be crossing over into X-Men. And to that, I'll just kind of point everyone to my previous comment that all of these crossover figures are new characters. So, yeah. I mean, we're just going to see something like we've seen in Ghostbusters, Transformers, and then Ectotron, where it's all, I mean, they're all different. They're all their own little universe, right? They're not going to be affected or they're not going to be tying into anything else, right? So,
yes. Speaking as the person that enjoys the intellectual property law stories that we get to cover from time to time, usually a character like this would be owned by both companies in some way. I mean, if you look at like the DC Marvel crossover from the 90s, they had that character Access that went between the universes. That character is jointly owned by DC and Marvel.
Okay, cool.
So they can both use it, although they have not used it, in decades. But that would probably be how this thing works. They would not want to use an existing character.
Yeah, I guess we're waiting on the inevitable DC Marvel crossover to see that character come back, right?
I would. I don't know. I think Access might be gone. I mean, I would love for it to come back, but I mean, that's neither here nor there. I think with this, it's going to be a new character, and I really do hope that they get a comic, like you said. That would a crossover would do so much for the comic books in general, but I think it would also boost up Transformers a bit more than Marvel. Like Marvel really doesn't need the extra juice on the X-Men side right now.
No, I mean, X-Men are doing really well on the comic side. But yeah, it's fun to get some X-Men toys. You forget that Transformers and X-Men have crossed over before, and they were horrible. So these new crossovers or these collaborative figures that they've been putting out are much, much better. And I suspect this one will be just cool enough to kind of cross both fandoms. I've already seen a whole bunch of comic book based people jump all over this news and say, "Holy crap! We've got to get this thing, and this is going to be the coolest thing ever." Blah blah blah. And yeah, so there's a lot of excitement on the other side of the fandom,
like the professional Marvel comic creator side.
Just the comic fans, just the people who are X-Men fans, who are just excited for something that's not just like 6-inch Marvel figures. Right.
And I think when we're looking at these now, I guess Ghostbusters, Hasbro didn't have the license. They had just acquired the license when they announced the collaborative.
Mm-hmm.
This one, Hasbro's had the Marvel license for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a good working relationship with Marvel. I'm wondering who else they would do for a future one. I mean, a new version of the Star Wars has to be down the pipe at some point.
I don't know.
I can't think of who else they have.
They jumped the shark on the Star Wars stuff. When they were doing it, they put every single possible character out there in that Star Wars Transformers
but that was
line.
also just horrible, making the things turn into robots that resemble the existing characters.
Yeah.
I mean, they need to go this route, have it turn into a new character, like a familiar ship.
Right.
But I am looking forward to this as someone that is just kind of an occasional X-Men fan.
Yeah.
I am really looking forward to this, because the Blackbird is just such a sleek looking jet in general.
Mm-hmm. It is. Yeah. So yeah, no, well, I mean, I'm going to keep my, my eyes open for any news about this. I mean, we're still waiting on the Top Gun one to come out, and that got announced before Ectotron, and Ectotron's out already. So,
yeah,
we're obviously waiting on the Top Gun movie.
Yeah, we're also waiting on the Ghostbusters movie.
Right.
So yeah, COVID screwed everything up here, but at some point they have the product, they have to release it.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, thanks for hopping in the middle of the day so we can record this little addendum. This is, exciting news. I'm happy that we were able to get it into the show.
Yeah. I got nothing better to do.
Yeah. All right. So with that, we will return to your regularly scheduled transmissions podcast. So, Mike, what do you have this week?
All right. Well, speaking of bases and playsets and stuff like this, they announced the 5th of the Galactic Odyssey sets, or the Galactic Odyssey collection, and this is the Botropolis Rescue Mission. And it is a repaint of Airwave Ironworks, along with the forgive me, I might be getting the names wrong on them, but the Space Patrol and the I'm forgetting the name of the countdown. The Missile Master, I think, was his original name. It's the Micromaster combiner that forms into the missile truck. So the space shuttle and the missile truck, along with the Airwave and Ironworks repaint, all done up in a color scheme that is a bit reminiscent of the Skylinks that we just got, and would probably look really, really good when put together with him. I've been kind of dragging my feet on picking up a Skylinks, even though I've seen it a couple times, and I've pre-ordered this set, and I think that I'm going to have to go ahead and pick up the Skylinks, even though it's a bit pricier than I wanted it to be. So this set is going to be $60. It's an Amazon exclusive, scheduled to be released in February 15th or so. And just overall, the look of the figures is really, really great. The color scheme is very unified. It feels just very cohesive. This is probably the only way I'll ever get that Airwave mold too, so I'm really excited about that. And I think the only real question I have on this is whether or not the rocket, because in the promotional images they showed the two bases combined together with the shuttle kind of connected to a rocket that is coming out of the Airwave base, and it's only shown in one promo image, but it's not mentioned in any of the actual posts for the item. So I'm hoping that comes with it. Does anyone have any thoughts on that?
Looks like, is it part of the gun for Airwave? Or are you talking about the top part of the rocket?
That gold piece on top of the Airwave repaint is, that makes sense. That is...
That's the gun.
Yeah, 100%. but the gray piece below the shuttle and the white piece above looks...
The gray piece below is also part of the gun, I think.
You think? I don't know. I'm not seeing it.
It looks like... I don't know.
Oh, actually, it looks like it could be the top piece of the airwave image. There's like a big round thing on top of his little like building in there. So that could be just a different paint job on it. But yeah, that top piece where the looks like a rocket is coming out, that's... I don't see that anywhere else. Either way, I didn't see anything listed or mentioned in the Amazon posting for it. I'm hoping it comes with it, but if it doesn't, it doesn't. I'll make do. Well, why don't Jeremy, since you already started talking about it, what do you think? Are you gonna pick this one up? Are you a fan of rockets?
I am a fan of rockets, and I watched a rocket tonight as we're recording this that blasted off. But
nice.
I don't know if I'm going to get this. I mean, it looks like we have some time, but I am a sucker for Micromasters and these bases, and I don't have... All I have is Ironworks, so getting some of these other ones even repainted, I think would be fun.
Same.
So it's something I will likely consider, and probably will pull the trigger on.
We can be rocket-based buddies over here.
Yeah.
What about you, Daryl? You gonna make it a rocket-based trio?
Sadly, no.
Damn.
I am almost done with the Micromaster bases, and really only need just the one. So it's what's the one that I need right now? It's the repaint of Grease Pit. No, not Grease Pit. The other one. The repaint of Hothouse. That's the one I need.
Hothouse is the repaint. I think Airwave was supposed to be the original.
Well, the Airwave, whatever. Sure, that's the one. That's the one I need. So then I'll be done with them all. I'm not a huge fan of the current wave of Micromasters, but the bases have been fun. And since they really only did 2 of them and produced 4 for the main line, I don't want an additional 2 of these repaints. So I'm going to be done when I get the last one, and I'm happy that there's an exclusive that I don't have to find a way to get. So this is one that I'm happy to not have to buy.
Understood. Yeah,
I mean, I can make this out of the stuff I have.
Yeah, but it's not going to look as good.
I have to use my imagination.
Apparently that's something only Canadians have.
Well, it's vivid.
Well,
I have a vivid imagination.
They don't get cynical and lose their childlike wonder.
Oh, gotcha. That's my problem. I get you. Do you have the space shuttle or the rocket truck, missile truck?
I have the space shuttle, and the rocket truck. No, I don't have the rocket truck, but I don't think that I absolutely have to have it. So it just looks like it's there. It's not part of like the big design. Like it's not part of the combination. So it's just there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can build this without it.
That's fair.
I can use the original rocket truck.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Which I think I have.
Yep. I got that one too. But yeah, so this looks really cool. I like it. I pre-ordered it. I am considering picking up Skylinks solely to go with all of this stuff here. Well, not solely. I think I'll like Skylinks on his own. But yeah, so definitely pick up for me. So, cool. That's what I got.
We are back with more breaking news. Hasbro just isn't content to let us get this episode edited and posted without giving us even more information about this X-Men figure. They released today actual pictures and ordering information. This is going to be the Ultimate Expanse, and he is basically the X-Men, what they would use to combat the Sentinels. And as we suspected, it looks like it is the Studio Series Blackbird jet, but heavily remolded. So Daryl, what do you think of this guy? He's supposed to have the powers of Wolverine and Cyclops.
I mean, I don't know how they're breaking down the what this guy's deal is, but I mean, yeah, he's got the Cyclops visor, he's got the Wolverine kind of claws, they're in a blast effect kind of a deal, and he's also got Psylocke's psychic dagger or psychic knife, they call it, on the other hand. Plus, they gave him Psylocke's kind of little psychic eye thing that she does. So that's a little blast effect that can go on around the eyes or on the head. So that looks kind of cool. So these are all just blast effects, stuff like that. The only physical plastic part is the visor, which
does go up and down.
It's a retractable piece, so that's kind of neat. It looks really cool. I love the shade of blue. When I first saw it, I thought it was, we both kind of thought it was Combiner Wars, based on, but this seems definitely based on the Studio Series Jetfire. There is a lot of retooling going on here. I've pulled up pictures and I'm looking at them side by side between this thing and, the Studio Series Jetfire. And man, I honestly, I can't see one part that they might have used. I wouldn't be surprised if it came out during a Fan First Friday event thing that they said, we just kind of used a skeleton and just kind of designed a whole bunch of new parts over top of it,
Yeah, I'm sure that's what they did with just the bare minimum that needs to have the transformation.
Yeah. The only thing that really gives it away are these kind of little wing pieces that are hanging off the back of the figure. That's the only thing that really gives it away, that it's Studio Series Jetfire. The other thing for me that gives it away, though, is the price point. This thing is pricey. It went up for pre-order today at $64.99 US, which means it's going to be a spicy meatball here in Canada. So yeah. So it's a big figure, expensive. So I mean, I did a little comparison as well as prices, and Studio Series Jetfire is only $49.99 US. So they've tacked on an extra, bunch of cash for this thing to just be, even a remold of that figure. So I think they've put an awful lot of work into making this.
Yeah. Well, and then there's the box too. The box is straight out of the 90s. If you ever walked down a toy aisle in the 90s and you saw all the X-Men, this would fit right there next to it. I kind of wish that they had gone with the 90s Transformer logo as well, but they're using the modern logo there. But yeah, this looks it looks a lot of fun, and I can imagine it's going to be hard to come by if you're trying to find it in the stores when it comes out in March.
Well, it's definitely going to be one of those things that I think is going to be on the shelves. You said it's it's Target exclusive, but it's another thing that's going to be expensive, right? So it's not one of those impulse buy things. So, it's going to be kind of cool. The collectors are going to be hunting for this thing. We were talking about it already in our, first addendum, that this thing is going to be that the X-Men fans are going to be after this, as well as the Transformers fans. So you've got two fandoms kind of chasing this thing, but that really high price point is going to start to back people off on this. We've got Ectotron and Gigawatt has been both $29.99, $59.99 here in Canada. And then we've got Maverick at what is he? He's less, but maybe $49.99. I can't remember what.
I can't remember.
But yeah, so he's a little bit more. He's more than Ectotron and Gigawatt, but he's definitely less than this guy. So, yeah, they're throwing out some really interesting stuff right now, but it's starting to inch up there as the price point goes. And yeah, it's
well, I was just looking at some of the other X-Men toys like on Amazon right now. They have the Marvel Legends series looks to be fairly pricey. Like the Cable figure is $40. Most of them are like between like 16 and 20, but Marvel fans aren't opposed to buying expensive toys.
Oh no. And I mean, we were going to do an extra on it, but the HasLab did a not just, but a while ago now, they finished their Kickstarter or whatever the hell you want to call it on their Sentinel for their 6-inch line, which is in scale with their 6-inch figures. So you can only imagine how big this damn thing is. But that was $350. And I think they sold like 13,000 of them or something like that. It's ridiculous. They sold a bunch.
Yeah.
So they only needed like 6,000 of them or something to meet their goal. And they sold a bunch.
And it went quick.
Oh, very quick. Yeah. It met its goal, its first goal in 24 hours. So yeah, the 6-inch X-Men fans are rabid. So yeah, I'm expecting this thing to sell exceedingly well. So if you're a Transformers fan and you are hoping to get one of these, I would definitely recommend pre-ordering it if you can through Target. I know that their system sucks.
It's gotten better. I was able to do that Ectotron with no trouble.
Right. Okay.
And this one, it's still showing in stock, and it's been up all day.
Oh, that's good. That's good. All right. Well, there you go. So yeah, hopefully it's available when people want it. I fully expect it to be one of those things that kind of sits around when it starts to hit the shelves, because Ectotron is starting to hit the shelves here in Canada. Gigawatt is starting to hit the shelves here in Canada, and Ectotron is still on some of the shelves here at the EB Games. So they're making enough of these to meet demand, which is good.
Yeah, I think they learned their lessons from some of those first ones and having to put out Gigawatt again.
That's right.
So, all right, I'm sure we'll have more to say next week when it's more than just me and Daryl, but we just wanted to go ahead, since this came out so soon after we recorded, we wanted to go ahead and get this news out there so people can pre-order. So thanks again, Daryl, and now we will return again to your regularly scheduled transmission. Well, that will wrap up our toy news, so let's move into Trips to the Store. Trips to the Store is the segment of the show where we show off all the awesome Transformer stuff we got this week, and we do it on YouTube so you can actually see the stuff we got, but we also put the audio of it right here. So keep listening as we describe our stuff, and then go over to YouTube and actually see it. So then we get counted twice. So without further ado, Trips to the Store.
The Transmissions Podcast will return after these messages.
And I am going first because I don't have as much as everyone else. But I did get this thing, the War for Cybertron Trilogy spoiler pack. This is the second spoiler pack that just came out.
Did you open it yet?
Nemesis Prime, yes. I opened it.
Spoilers.
Maybe I opened it while you guys were talking on another part of the podcast. But this is cool. This is Siege Optimus with the Earthrise Optimus trailer. So the trailer is nice and black and has teal. I really do like the color. I just wish that the Decepticon logo was set off a little bit more. Maybe outline it in silver or something. It just having the teal background. I mean, it's just it's already so dark. But open this up. It's all black on the inside. It's just waiting for a Toy Hex label set
or a gray marker pen.
Yeah, I mean just something, because it is just not painted at all. But it comes with some accessories. You have I can't remember the names of these guys, but this guy
that's Bird Dude.
Bird Dude, actually. It's Giza, who is a bird sword. He turns into a sword.
Bird
sword dude. And then you have Fangtron here, who is he turns into a ramp, I think.
Bitey mixed snakehead.
Yeah. And then just it comes with a nice sword, just a regular sword. And then this thing kind of disappointed me. It comes with a blast effect, and I think my blast effect is broken because there's no way to attach it here. Like, trying to get the focus there. You can see it.
No, you put
that whole.
Yeah, you put that on the small pegs.
Oh, well, okay. But I was used to being able to also stick it inside a gun to make it look like.
Sure you do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Can't just go around sticking it anywhere, Jeremy.
I know. And then it also comes with some Play-Doh, which I thought this was going to be like modeling clay, but no, this is actually more Play-Doh.
What was in that? Was the blast effect in that?
No, Energon cubes.
Oh, we got more Energon cubes?
That's what I've lost on my desk in the last 20 minutes.
So they buried Energon cubes in the Play-Doh?
There was a piece of Play-Doh, Energon cubes inside the plastic bag, and then another piece of Play-Doh.
That's the aforementioned wheat component?
Yeah, if you look here in the box, this is where it was. As soon as I cut that open, you get the familiar smell of Play-Doh.
As you do.
Yeah, as you do. And, I mean, I guess I'm going to have to find some place to put this so it doesn't dry out. I'll get a Ziploc bag or something. It's a good thing I have a 6-year-old that will love some Play-Doh.
Black Play-Doh, huh?
Yeah. So that is what I got. I think the figure itself, I think the colors look great. I just really wish that it was the Earthrise mold. But now I have the regular Earthrise, the dead Earthrise, the regular or the cell shaded Siege, and now the Nemesis Siege. So I think I am Optimus out. So that is all I got this week. So Mike, let's go on to you. What do you got?
Okay, so I'm going to start off with the Earthrise Prowl and Ironhide 2-pack, the Amazon 2-pack that came out. I think you showed this off last week there, Jeremy. Yep.
Still on my desk.
Really great pair of figures. I found I love the Ironhide mold a lot more than I ever expected, and I am looking forward to the Ratchet and Paradron set when it comes out in January. Excuse me, because it is a really, really great figure. Very beefy feeling, and which is always something that I think Ironhide should feel like. So, yeah, very happy, very satisfied with those two. In the last week, I picked up Slitherfang, and I think his name is Double Cross. Both of them have pretty much turned into ramps. Ramps and planks.
So,
yep.
Same as this guy.
Exactly right. Double Cross, I think, is actually an older one. Is he from Siege?
No, he's brand new.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's been hard to find.
Oh, well.
So, I know for me anyway. The Slither Fang is kind of plentiful right now, but Double Cross is brand spanking new.
Nice. Yeah, both are pretty cool. I love the little like snake mode thing for Slither Fang. That's pretty awesome. And yeah, Double Cross he's a plank, you know.
Is he translucent?
Which one? Double Cross?
Double Cross. Yeah, the red.
The red is, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Hard to focus on, but yep. So not too bad.
That is a hollow back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, it's very gappy.
Yeah, it's not a bad figure certainly, but it certainly is not very complicated. From Hasbro Pulse, I got Fast Track in, and his knees apparently wanting to not stay up, but that's fine. Fast Track is pretty awesome.
He's a cool looking figure.
Yeah, he really is. So, yep. I have not picked up Scorponok yet, but, you know, it is where it is. I'll eventually find him, hopefully at a discount. But once I do, I got Fast Track, and I can use his big spear mode with him, so that's always cool. It's been like a big month for pre-orders, like stuff that I pre-ordered back in like July is finally starting to ship. So the Amazon 2-pack, Fast Track, and then finding just rando stuff in Target. I got two other things to show, and one is actually a thing that has 26 individual pieces to it. So back for my birthday in October, a friend of mine picked up a transforming alphabet set that turns into animals.
Do
they combine?
My son has the ones that turn into robots.
Yep.
So
these things are honestly a lot more like complex. That's a little bright side. Come on, focus. A little better. Turns into a manta ray. It's a little hard to tell because it's just so bright. And the rest, like I said, the rest turned into letters, and they got like the big full set. So,
big C.
Yeah. Wish Charles was here to see that. That'd be pretty awesome for him. He'll look it up on YouTube afterwards. But yeah, so big package came in, all the letters. They all turn into various animals. And 4 to 5, like there's like sets of 4 to 5 of each one, and they combine into a little robot combiner that has 0 articulation. But you know what? Still looks pretty awesome. I love it. Cool. They made a number set, like a 0 to 9 number set combiner that
my son has that one too.
He does? Nice. Yeah. I'm hoping to find it at some point.
If you look at like education stores that like have like teaching supplies and stuff, sometimes you might find it there.
Nice.
I think we found it on Amazon.
Yep. I'm sure my friend found it on Amazon too. Yeah.
I hadn't seen the alphabet ones like that. His are just little letters that turn into little bitty robots, and the numbers are much the same, but they combine
into one giant one. Yep. I'm hoping to find that at some point.
Yeah. They're interesting, and now I think I'm going to have to get those letter ones.
It is pretty awesome. I found another set on Amazon that they turn into like cars, trucks, planes, stuff like that. And another set that does the same, except they all combine into one large, like giant truck, which I'd love to get my hands on.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. All right. And the last thing is Big Firebird's Nicey. Or Booby RC.
That's a cool looking figure.
It really is. And, you know, aside from its
really reputation, awesome. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Aside from its reputation, it is an incredibly, really good figure. Well articulated. The transformation is not too bad. I mean, it's a little finicky at points, but it reminds me an awful lot of the Thrilling 30 RC. It's actually, I think it takes a lot of echoes from that. It's got a ton of accessories. It's got a ton of customization too, so you can kind of pull off the the backpack pieces put them on the lower back, put them on the hips. There's like I said, a ton of customization with it, a ton of accessories. I wish they didn't change the head kind of last minute, because they included 2 different heads, and it's just different facial expressions. And I wish they kept at least one version was the original RC head. And yeah, aside from its reputation and everything, it's a really spectacular figure. It looks really, really good. Great articulation, transforms really well, and just a ton of stuff. So yeah. Really great figure. I love it.
Cool. I'm a little disappointed that the figure is so known for its robot mode that people don't generally post pictures of it in its car mode, because it's got one of the coolest looking car modes. So,
totally.
I'm open to seeing pictures of its car mode more than its robot mode. I know people like posting pictures of the titties, but post pictures of the car mode. It's cool. It's very cool.
I actually have. I took a couple of pictures in my studio with in car mode, so I'll actually try to post those up in the Discord.
Cool.
Yeah, like I said, it does look really, really nice. So, yep, good stuff. Well,
All right.
I'm done. So,
Cool. Well, thanks for watching Trips to the Store. It's been a great week. Oh, yeah. Daryl has a few things he has been taunting us with.
Not a few. I just have one thing. But this thing, I bought it in March, and it was supposed to get shipped out to me in August, late August. And, something's been going on in the world, and didn't happen. And
You got caught up in the election.
now, yeah. Now it's been, it then finally got shipped out, and it took a while. It showed up here in my city on Monday, and then got tossed around in my city for 4 days. And then before it showed up, so I was getting really upset with the freaking post office. I got my own Studio Series figure for the 86 movie. It's Studio 86 Unicron. This is the 01 Studio Cell, they called it. This thing is fucking awesome, guys. The video is not going to do it justice how fucking awesome this thing is. It's a monster. It's an absolute monster of a figure.
bigger than your head.
So when we were joking before the show, and I told you, I said that you got Unicron before Charles.
Yeah. Yeah. The articulation on this thing is incredible. The joints are insane, right? Like the shoulder joints are die cast. This thing is just incredible. Like waist joints, like they're solid joints. The feet have die cast in them. It does open up in the chest, like we saw in the the previews and stuff like that. I mean, we've talked about this thing quite a bit. I'm having a hard time doing this from the reverse, but there's one side. There's the other side. So then this side actually will open right up. I haven't transformed this into planet mode yet because, one, I'm scared, and two, I wanted to make sure that if I did happen to break it, which God help me if I do that, I had a chance to show it off on the show first. So I'm doing something wrong there. There we go.
We're seeing kind of the interior chamber.
Yep. So I'm looking at showing you guys all the internal structures and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
That's a really interesting way that they made the horns fit inside.
Oh yeah.
There's an opening kind of on either side inside the chest, and the two horns kind of fold back around on the front back and fold into the chest. So
yep, and the back is exactly the same. You can actually see through the tummy. You can see through his stomach. So maybe you can see that there. Hey, yeah, there. Hello. Yeah.
Where are you going to put him?
I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea where this is going. I never thought about it. But his head does come off, and I'm just going to use that.
You can do that little squat head mode, like Airwave.
Yeah. So I can do that for now. And his mouth does open. Look at the detail in the mouth, man. Look at the teeth.
Wow.
Teeth as well. Jeez. Pretty impressive.
Yeah. I don't know how to focus this fucking camera. There is a battery pack on the back.
I think you just need to turn it into planet mode and then
there you go.
There we go.
And then hang it from your ceiling, and then it's just in your background.
Yeah,
all the time.
So, like I said, there is a battery pack on the back. I haven't gotten any batteries for it yet. It's essentially everything's contained because there's no leads or anything on the back. Everything's contained in the head. There's a button on the top, and that's there is one on the back of the head too. I'm not entirely sure. I think this one on the top is actually a light, but the little black button on the back. So there. It's awesome. It really is. It's I cannot imagine how much work went into this thing. Like really, it's incredible. But I'm gonna spend a little bit of time this week and transform it, and then hopefully next week I can show you it in planet mode, and then we can take a look at that. But
we'll allow it.
It's just an absolute beast. So I'm pretty happy with it. It did come with a whole bunch of pieces here. So these are the little like spikes and stuff that I can put on the arms. That will actually be little points and stuff in planet mode. It came with a bunch of little screw head covers. And then it came with a whole bunch of more plates. So if I wanted to actually change the yellow or the orange plates for the planet mode and make the entire planet blue, I can do that.
So I wonder if they're going to come out with like a Primus version.
I mean, that's the color they just gave me. But
no, you just need a new head.
Yeah. So I don't know, but it looks really cool. It stands remarkably well. It's really super articulated. We've seen in pictures. I haven't tried it with my own just because I haven't spent that much time with it yet. But it will stand on one leg, right? So it's really well done. I'm really impressed with this thing. It was worth the wait. Like Mike said, where am I putting it? I don't know where I'm putting it. I did measure it out. If I have it just standing in an A pose, it does not fit in a DTOLF. It's too big. So
How about planet mode?
Planet mode, I haven't tried. But that really defeats a lot of the purpose. It just
right.
I might try and see if I can put it in the DTOLF like sideways. But again,
you're gonna have to do the DTOLF mod where you kind of take the two of them together and make make two out of it.
Maybe it's so wide, right? So, anywho, if you had an opportunity to get this, I do recall when all of this kind of hubbub, the pandemic and everything started. I did spend some time at home, and I was lucky enough to get this thing on for $250, because that was what the pre-sale price was. It did go up to $399, so I really thank myself for just kind of taking a risk on getting something like this, because if you recall, we never really had any kind of any knowledge on how this thing was going to do, right? It was Zetas, and then it was 01 Studios, and we weren't 100% on whether this thing was even going to come out. So, yeah. Anyway, I'll end with that. But
this one, like, what was the size comparison between this and the Hasbro?
Well, I think Hasbro's is 27 inches tall, and I think this is 19. So It's significantly shorter. But
so comparing how big this one is compared to you, when Charles gets his, he's going to need a wide angle lens.
Well, I have this thing standing on my desk right now. So, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like roughly, your torso up.
Sure.
I mean, that's crazy.
It's a big one.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, if you were ever on the fence and if you still have an opportunity and you can afford the price point that it's at now, get it. It's awesome. It really is. So, yeah, that's what I got this week.
Awesome.
If I have to lose to that, then you know what? It's worth it.
Yeah.
Did I tell you it was awesome?
Yeah, you did.
We now return to the Transmissions Podcast.
All right, we are back from the trip to the store, and now let's get into some convention news. We actually have some announcements for conventions. The first one here is a TFCon Baltimore, which is going to be October 22nd through 24th, 2021, has their hotel block open. So if you go to the tfcon.com website, you can go and book your hotel room at the TFCon rate, or you can call the Hilton Baltimore in Harbor directly and ask for the TFCon rate. The rate's going to be available until October 15th. I'm guessing that's 2021 since it's already passed, or until the block is sold out. So that's really cool. Another convention that is coming up, and this is actually April 9th and 10th, 2021. DairyCon has announced that they are doing their, essentially it's last year's show again, the show that they just had a few months ago. That was their 20th anniversary. So they're now celebrating their 21st anniversary with the theme Deja Vu. And we'll see. I mean, from one of my friends that went for a little while this year to the DairyCon, and it was spaced out, and he felt pretty safe. And I think for a one-day thing, it might be worth me going to check out. But pre-registration opens December 1st. They're going to. They have not announced any exclusives, but they had a number of them for the fall show. I would imagine some of the similar themes, but we'll have to see. But it's a fun show, but being in April, I'm still kind of wary. It might just be, a short, 20-minute in and out thing for me if I go.
Well, at that point, if you're spending so little time there, what's really the point?
Well, yeah, I mean, you want to get the exclusives and maybe get something from a vendor.
I don't know. If I'm going to go to a con, I expect to spend the entire day there. I expect to check out the dealer's room. I'm hoping there'd be panels, and I expect it to be an experience. Yeah,
DairyCon is strictly dealer, pretty much. I mean, they have some games and stuff off to the side, but it's a one-room thing, at a county fairgrounds type environment. And then the last thing we have here is a new nonprofit fan organized event for Transformers fans called IaCon Online. It is they haven't announced when it is other than early 2021, but they're looking for panelists, cosplayers, and artists, and their application period will start sometime in November. So that's one to kind of keep on the calendar, and I don't know. We might see if there's something we can contribute, but it's another completely online convention. So that is it for convention news this week, and I think we're going to finish up with just a little bit of feedback.
All right, in feedback this week, we got one message from good friend Dinobot Maximize, who asked us, speaking on episode 406, Punch Counterpunch's mold. Not sure if you guys might have answered this before, but what would you guys think if Hasbro or someone did a remold or / repaint of that mold into a drift / deadlock version? I may be mistaken, and someone has already done it. Personally, drift and deadlock, yeah, they're the same person, and they share the same car mode, but they're two different colors. Drift being white, deadlock being black. They're also, they're not really spies either. I mean, it could be done the same way. You'd have to really make it so that the color really shifts, right? With Punch Counterpunch, they essentially share the same color palette because it's the same guy. Drift and Deadlock, I mean, he essentially changes colors completely. I mean, the mold is the same. But yeah, I mean, it could be done. You'd have to get really clever with the way that it changes colors, though. And the only other thing that would be tough would be, I mean, they share the exact same mold, right? So, or the alt mode. So, how would you change the way that the robot mode looked and the way that the car mode looked, right? So, you're trying to do the robot mode and the car mode, which are the same for both figures, but you're trying to do them in one figure. It's kind of difficult. Yeah, I'm not sure if it would work, but I mean, you're welcome to give it a try. Jeremy, Mike?
I like the idea. I mean, it kind of fits thematically for the character, but yeah, the engineering on it, I don't think is possible to switch the color scheme that much. And if they could find a way to do it, then that'd be great. But without a heavy remold to it, I don't think they really could. And I don't particularly want a drift / deadlock figure that doesn't kind of use that color scheme correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Because the actual bot modes for both of them feel very, very similar. So the color scheme really is the big thing that differentiates them. And if you don't have that, you kind of lose a lot from the characters. So, if they can find a way, cool. But I don't think they would easily be able to do that.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. And I know Hasbro's put out some drift figures. I don't think they've ever put out a deadlock figure, like an official one.
Not official. I think there was a Collectors Club one.
Yeah, and then there's like the Flame Toys,
right?
But
so the Collectors Club made a deadlock figure out of the drift figure.
Yeah, but then I mean, Punch Counterpunch was actually in a G1 episode, so they have more, I guess, more of a desire to get a figure like that out than one that's only appeared in comics.
Sure.
All right. Well, with that, I think we will wrap up our show. Before we leave, we need to shout out our Masterpiece Donatrions, which at this point is just John Forex Levingood. So thanks so much for your support and also your consistent voicemails and stuff, John. It's awesome. And with that, thanks, Mike, for coming in and guest hosting tonight. It's always great having you.
Yeah, always. Anytime, guys. I'm always up for it.
Yep. And I guess we will talk to you guys next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Later.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening to this episode of Transmissions. But just because this episode is over doesn't mean the Transformers fun has to stop. Join us and other Transformers fans on our Discord chat server by visiting transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. If you would like to learn more about how you could support the Transmissions Podcast, just visit transmissionspodcast.com/support. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you again next week.